The Merman and the Baker, Chapter 6. I'm Not a Hero. Written and narrated by Eleanor. If you haven't already, make sure to subscribe and hit the bell to stay up to date on the latest parts of this fanfiction. Don't turn there, Alya said, noting Adrien's tug. He was between her and Nino, holding hands, and he wanted to follow the fork in the road. But this is where the path leads, Adrien said, using his chin to point. There's an Akuma at the end of it. Come on. Aren't trails supposed to be safe in the Lost Woods? Safer. It's all over once we get closer. The trio and their animal companions continued on without many conversations, concentrating too much to make small talk. It wasn't stray rocks and protruding roots they were trying to avoid, after all. They'd gone off path 3 times since meeting Alya and her Red Hood, twice because of Adrien, and once when Nino needed to relieve himself and didn't tell the group. They ran into what was called a bear because of that, and it looked nothing like the deity drawn in the caves of the Red Sea. So, why are you guys going to see the wizard anyway? Alya asked, sweeping her dagger behind her cloak. She'd killed a rabbit for them as Nino set up camp. Adrien couldn't figure out the passage of time in these woods, but it must be dawn at the earliest. He felt his bones aching as sleep tugged at the skin under his eyes, begging to be rubbed as he yawned. It was a mystery if he'd rather sleep or eat at this point. I'm just wandering for a new life, Nino said, striking a stone. I don't know what Adrien's up to. He looked up, hesitating before chiming in. I want to know more about the Miraculous, Adrien said, pulling a sleeping Plag out of Nino's satchel. Why? You already have one, Alya said. Yeah, why? Nino asked, leaning back as flames jumped from his fingers to the sticks. Whoa. Adrien would have to ask him how he did that. It didn't look like he used matches like Marinette did. Well, there's someone I want to talk to, and... he began. There's a girl! Plag stretched himself out as he cut into the conversation. They turned to look at the cat, surprise on Alya and Nino's faces as Adrien sighed. Yeah, he said. A girl. I want to thank her for taking me in when I was weak and teaching me more about the surface world, even though I couldn't talk. I owe her my life. Your life, huh? Alya said. That's a hefty debt. What are you going to say to her? I'm working on it. Is she pretty? Huh? Is she pretty? I don't know. For a leg maid, I guess. For a leg maid? Alya flicked her eyes down, then up again. I'm sure she thinks the same of you. Is this what they call flirting? Nino chimed in. No, just appreciating art. I'm surprised we haven't run into another Akuma yet. What are Akumas anyway? Adrien asked, relieved for the change in subject. The cost of becoming a lead. A lead? You know, like a princess or a hero. Your consciousness gets split in 2, and if you defeat the Akuma, you get your own story. Like a tablet? Yeah, kind of. We call them books. Turns out that's not how it works at all, though. It's some evil butterfly's way of gathering minions because no one's been able to defeat an Akuma yet. Nino stopped abruptly. Wait, no one? He asked. Not that I know of, Alya said, and I get around. That can't be. Adrien took care of mine yesterday. She furrowed her eyebrows. That's impossible. No one's ever done that. What happened? It fell out the window and disappeared, Adrien said, still feeling a bit guilty for his part in it. What do you mean, disappeared? Are you sure it didn't run away? It's an open field. The only thing left there was a butterfly, Nino said, throwing sticks on the fire. Huh. What? Adrien asked. A butterfly? Are you sure? Yeah. Why? I'll have to ask Trix, but I wonder if... She trailed off. Never mind. You're off to see the wizard, so I may as well tag along and see if he can answer a question. a new question I have. I can try, Plag piped up, dropping something in front of the fire. Ooh, squirrel? Not my taste. Do you want it? Sure. Got any cheese? Plag, Adrien interrupted. I have some baked bread with cheese, if that counts, Alya said, reaching into her cloak. It must be magic, because there's no way the loaf she pulled out would fit in her pocket. Perfect. Roast it yourself. Here, Alya said, pulling an apple out of her cloak. For your Kwame. Nino caught it, flinching at her throw. Thanks. You forgot about him, didn't you? Maybe. I smell something delicious, Waze said, crawling out of the satchel. Here you go, bud, Nino said, pulling the apple in too. Wow. Alya caught his attention. Stronger than you look? Spend a few years in a tower and you get pretty bored. Oof. I spent a year in these woods before I figured them out. Does that count? I'm surprised you haven't been akumatized. Alya hesitated a moment. Do you really not remember anything before the tower? Nope. Do you know if that Akuma was yours? Honestly, I don't know too much about Akumas in general, much less about if the bubbler was mine. Peculiar. It doesn't look like interviewing you will get me very far, though, Alya said, leaning back to lie on her cloak. Who gets first watch? I'll do it, Nino said, poking the fire. Great. I don't trust new legs over there to do it just yet, so wake me up when you're ready for bed. Tired as he was, Adrien couldn't fall asleep. Seeing his mother reminded him of how he got to the surface in the first place. It wasn't as though he wanted to be a hero by pulling his dad back to the colony and restoring order. Really, he wanted to put his family back together, even though it wouldn't happen as he wanted it to. Even on the surface, he couldn't be the hero his father trained him to be. He was dependent on a low, working-class woman to survive, and when he did leave her, he caused someone or something to fall to its death, then almost got himself and his companion stuck in a cursed forest until the end of time, only to be saved by another woman. Couldn't even talk without help. Some soldier he was. He'd never live up to being a prince, water or surface. Once again, Adrien couldn't recall falling asleep. Instead, he woke to scuffle and adrenaline. Try as he might, he couldn't get used to waking up in air instead of water. Nino must have put the fire out and woken him. The woods looked the same as when they set up camp, deceiving his perception of the flow of time. Of all the senses to cut off, if you could call it a sense, this one upset his mental balance most of all. "Wake up, sleepyhead! Let's go!" Alya tossed an apple at him and reached out her hand for him to grasp. "We've got all day, but let's not take it." He willed himself up, grateful for the breakfast she tossed at him. Yeah, it'd be nice to get out of his head and just walk. His thought from before he slept accented as he trailed behind. Yeah, he's a side character. That's all he'd ever be, probably. He needed to be better. He was tired of being dead weight. But how? How could he be better? The miraculous gave him legs, but he was most useful in water. He was a burden on land. No. Shake those thoughts away. Find your father. Thank Marinette. The goals are clear. One foot in front of the other, Prince. Even if you aren't a hero. End of chapter. If you've made it this far, comment apple. I'll catch you guys next week. Bye!